This is 2OF Entertainment.
Hey guys, so behind me I've got the Hyundai Ioniq 6. I've been looking forward to trying this. This is a really good looking car. It's really exciting. It's a new thing. It's kind of following in the footsteps of the fantastic Ioniq 5, which was such an iconic design, really cool and really eye-catching. This one, no less so. But what's it like to drive? We'll find out. We'll have a quick look around the car. We're at a media drive day, so we've got limited time with the car. But we'll have a quick look around, look at the boot, look at the interior, and then we'll take it for a quick drive. All right, let's see what the boot is like. I mean, look at this arrangement here with this spoiler. These tail lights are amazing. That's a pretty deep boot, actually. And oh yeah, we've got an underfloor compartment, probably for cables and stuff like that. We've got split folding seats. I need to put this back properly. And then that's pretty much all you got, but pretty deep, pretty wide. And interestingly, you get the impression that this is going to be a hatchback, and it's actually not. It's a boot. And even though it's boot, it's powered. So look at that. Oh, okay, so I've locked it. I didn't want to lock it. So there you go. This is amazing. So this is the sort of matrix lighting thing that we saw on the 5, and we now see it on here as well, kind of also replicated in the top spoiler here. Lots of nice design touches, really good. The flush door handles, and this will be interesting. I'm not a huge fan of these cameras for wing mirrors, but there you go. Look at the logo in there. Hate to think what that would cost to replace. Interesting headlights again with the matrix features inside it, but overall the great thing about this is the shape, and it's interesting that we're opposite Porsche right there, because there's certainly more than a hint of Porsche about this car. Let's see what it's like in the back. So here we are inside the Ioniq 6. Tons of room back here. I haven't yet set this, but I can see that the seating is quite far back. I haven't set it from my position. Only issue with this feet room, that's a bit tight in there, but knee room is not too bad. The feet are slightly higher, as they often are in an EV, but it's not too bad in terms of space. But it feels very spacious. This is the thing. You can move that just like a luxury car. You can move that from here. I can move that forward, so that if you're sitting back here, you can really spread out. But it feels really spacious, despite the fact that it's got this sloping roof, which does come down a bit, and so you can see it coming into the top of my head. But overall, it feels very spacious. This is nicely designed. That's actually contoured, and you can feel it. It's textured. Nice bit of artwork there as well with the speaker surround, and nice seats. Leather, not bad. Not the soft kind, the regular kind, which I'm surprised about. But the door design is very nice as well. So these headrests are interesting, aren't they? Let's see what the front is like. So here we are inside the car, and again, that textured finish there. Let me just adjust this a little bit so I feel a bit, yeah, it's a bit more comfortable. Seats a bit more upright. Look at this. Look at how the mirror has been done there. So the mirror out there, there's a camera, there's the display. Huge big screen here. There's your charging pad, USB, cup holders. Buttons for your windows are actually here, not on the door. There's nothing on the door, actually, just a giant handle. And obviously the door handle itself. And then you've got USBs, UCs in there. Deep pocket. I like this arrangement. Look at the color, look at the texture, look how the mirror is over there. The angle is different on that one, obviously, compared to that one. That's more pointed towards the driver. But all very, very cool in here. What can I tell you about this car? So this is a Ioniq 6 Ultimate. This is biophilic blue. It looks black, but it's actually blue. This is all-wheel drive with 325 horsepower and 605 Newton meters of torque, 20-inch alloy wheels. So we don't have a lot of time to put rest of the spec on the screen. Let's take it for a drive. We're going to drive the Ioniq 6, and all comfortable. Starter button. Yeah, oh yeah, that's come alive now, because that was enough. Let's see if that goes. Oh, that's come out as far as it does. I have to tell you, I think I do find these mirrors very confusing, but hey ho, this is how it is. And how do we put this into drive? Where is there's a drive mode there. Oh, the gear selector is over here. There's a big knob here. I should have actually filmed that earlier. There's a big stalk here, massive stalk with a selector on the side. You twist it and then you're ready to go. So now we're in drive and we are in normal mode. So let's start off in normal mode and see how we get on. There goes another Hyundai, and then we are going to move off after about 911 parks. There you go. So we are on a drive day obviously today, and so we're at Milbrook Proving Ground. So I'll take it on one of the internal routes here, and we'll try it out there and see how we get on. You can feel the firmness in the floor. You can feel that through the suspension. You can feel that often you get with electric cars. So it's quite stiff, it's quite rigid. There's a little bit of road roll even at that speed, but again, you know, it's what you'd expect in these sort of cars. But it's amazing how spacious this feels. It's amazing how comfortable in that sense it is. But overall, I mean, the seats are quite body hugging. So it's all pretty good. Visibility all around is not too bad. Even out the rear window, again, because of the design, because of the shape, you think that maybe it'll be a bit tight at the back there, but it's not too bad. I've got paddles here, but I think the paddles are for regen rather than for anything else. And you feel like, I don't know, you feel really, it's kind of sort of in between luxury and regular, but in terms of space, I feel like I've got, I don't know, because of this, there's this parcel shelf underneath here. So you've got this kind of bridge set up here where you've got a top level and then a lower level and a huge sort of tray down there. Oh, and a huge sort of tray down there. And then, I don't know, because that's open, I don't know if that's why it is or what it is, even though it doesn't have a sunroof, but it feels much more spacious than I would have anticipated, you know? Those wing mirrors are really weird, and the reason I don't like these sort of things is because it's really hard to tell how far things are behind you. So anyway, let's see how we do. So here we are, we're now on the hill route at Milbrook. So there's a chance actually to give this thing a try. This is still in normal mode, so let's switch up the modes. The mode button is right there. Oh, sport immediately responded there. Like straight away you had a response from the sports mode. And it's a little bit rough on that side, so it's a testing facility, so there's a variation in surfaces and what have you. But again, at the moment we're on a nice sort of hill section, and with a few curves, contours, twists and turns, that sort of stuff. But overall really good, not bad. The steering is very light, even in sports mode it's surprisingly light. Again, the mirrors are catching me out. I find that really confusing. It's one of the things I think it would take getting used to. You need to spend a few days with the car to really kind of get used to these mirrors. But I keep looking over my shoulder rather than using the mirrors because I find them a little bit disorientating. It would be interesting to find out what they would be like at night as well, because I used them before in something else, and at night it was kind of weird. So which way are we going? This way? Yeah. So picking up a little bit of speed here downhill, and again, very, you know, it's very planted but also quite rigid, so there's quite a little bit of movement in the body. No flex and no moving around, generally quite good, quite tight. It holds the body quite well, the road quite well I should say, and the body control is not too bad when you do that sort of thing. But yeah, not an issue. Turning is pretty good on the brakes. The brakes are quite, yeah, just as you would expect. So there's no surprise, no shock there. So I'm just trying to pick out my route as well. What we are actually, where we're supposed to be going on. This is the first time round the route today. But yeah, so not bad at all. Now regen, so if I drive, it's on, it's kind of like on one pedal mode now. Right, okay. So it's one pedal mode now, yeah. So it's kind of like, it's weird when you're doing this sort of stuff, you don't necessarily want one pedal mode, although one pedal mode does work really well, for example, in city driving, where there's this less, you know, transitioning between the accelerator pedal and the brake pedal. So on the brakes, downhill, yeah, not too bad. There's a little bit of a moment here, yep, when you go up and down. I don't know why it's binging and bonging, and this is always the issue with these cars, is that when you have so much technology and you start to wonder why is it making the sort of sounds and noises that it's making. but everything seems to be fine. Whatever it was doing, it stopped doing it. So, you know, a big old display in front, massive screen off there with all of the options and various things that you can do, what have you. Again, not time on this particular event to explore it in detail, but as we know from previous use, the entertainment system is pretty good and straightforward on these cars. So there you go. I mean, it's a very again, I don't know why it's doing that. It must be lane detection or something. And it's got the obviously the camera. When you indicate, the camera comes up on the instrument panel to show you, you know, where you are, etc., etc. And again, it's doing that thing which I don't really know why it's beeping. But in front of me, massive display, partly obscured, I would say, by the steering wheel. I mean, where I had it was comfortable. I've moved it up a little bit, and now I can see a little bit more of the screen, but not too bad. It's quite, I would say, it's quite a serious car compared to the Ioniq 5, which I reviewed last year. Compared to that, I think this is a little bit more maybe sports orientated, you could say, but also a little bit more thrusting, executive type of vehicle, whereas the Ioniq 5 felt a bit more airy and open and friendlier, if you like, a bit more family orientated. So I think there's a subtle character difference in the cars. It's interesting with Hyundai in that there's two models which are so similar in terms of the way they do what they do. However, the personalities that they've created for those two cars are actually quite unique and distinct, and are designed for different kind of customers. And I think that's actually a really good idea. I think that's really clever. I think too many people is confused. You know, you go in there, you could have this, and the other. They wouldn't make any difference. They're all the same car. Whereas here, I think that they actually basically created these two cars to appeal to different type of drivers and different type of customers, and I think that makes a lot of sense. So anyway, nice car, I like it. I think I still prefer the Ioniq 5, honestly. I like the styling of this car, but I think that overall, I think the Ioniq 5 is quite quirky as well. But so I think personally, if you were looking for a family EV, I'd go for that one. If you're looking for something a little bit more serious, I'd go for this one. But there you go. There's my review of the Ioniq 6. Let me know what you think of the car in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.